Hello? Can you hear us? Oh, what a terrible start. This is the real start. That was just experimentation. Hi everyone. Can you hear us now? There's a bit more of a delay than I'm used to. I realized that putting it on the super low delay that I'd been doing means that YouTube would never generate those auto subtitles, which I know aren't ideal, but I thought it's probably a good idea to have them there, isn't it? Can do it. Brilliant. I've pressed the turn the audio on button. That usually helps before you start streaming. Hi everyone. Jenway, Rachel, Danielle, Jose, Monica, James. I said hi before, but it was no good when you couldn't hear me, was it? I've left the door open as well. Usually try and close the door so you can see some of the games and things, but there's some great big chairs in the way. Yeah, just checking your ears. That's what it's all about. It's just a big check, really. Oh, there's great big gaps in the shelves as well. We've been trying to play some games. It's had mixed consequences. Marty is not here currently. I imagine he's downstairs. He's had his radiator bed refreshed to a temporary place, which is right in the way when we need to go and play a game. But he hasn't really left there since, has he? I think multicam should switch there. I think it'll say the title of a game I'm not playing. Nope. We'll just do nothing. Oh, not starting soon. Yeah, he's just not here. I don't think it's quite clicked yet, but this is the hottest room in the house, I'd say. And partly because it's the computers are in here as well. Computers make things warm and lights and things. But he usually stays in here with us at night, kind of all crumpled up and quite clearly very hot. But maybe he's starting to realise that it's quite nice and cool downstairs, and he might like to curl up and enjoy himself downstairs for a bit. I think he'll be up here though when he knows that he's wanted up here, so he's not going to come in right now while he's wanted. Is this chat going to work now? Oh, here we go. There we go. Now there's a bit more of a delay on this other chat screen. So where are we going? Yes, I think there's always some kind of delay on YouTube. You can set it to like ultra low delay, and it means you can't have it in 4K and stuff, which I don't anyway. But it means that it doesn't generate those auto subtitles, and I think I hadn't really thought about it before, and no one's complained about it. But I thought if they're an option, they should just be an option, shouldn't they? If it can help even one person watch, they might as well be on there. And I don't think there's too much of a delay. There's maybe 10 seconds, something like that. Which maybe I'd have to set it back to low if we were going to play a game, me versus the audience again, like we did with Quacks. But for now, I think it'll be okay. But there's always some kind of delay. Yeah, multicam. We can try, but yeah, we'll have to keep our ears open for him joining us behind. He's got a nice little bed set up, but that means that he's probably not going to be coming over here. He needs his me time. We haven't really got any plans for summer, have we? We haven't got any plans for anything. We'd like to go on holiday next year because, yeah, things are just still up in the air, aren't they, now? Like, things might be allowed this summer, but then might change again. So I thought, just wait it out and try and go somewhere next year, hopefully. We might go somewhere in the country, but to see people rather than go and sun it up somewhere. Probably try and do both. But it's been quite sunny here this week. It's been very nice when we can get out and relax, Rach. What cons will we be going to? At the moment, similarly, not really any plans for any conventions. I know that the UK Games Expo is going to be on in a reduced form at the end of July. It's like 31st of July, I think that's on. And I think similarly, yeah, I'm not sure how things are going to be. They're not going to have a bring and buy, understandably, but that's my favourite bit, to be honest. Yeah, we don't know how things are going to be in July and stuff. They could just have to lock everything up again. and it's just
maybe.
a lot of, even though it's a reduced amount, it's a lot of people to suddenly be in a hall with again. So who knows what things are going to be like over there? But I don't know. And Essen, yeah, similarly, I don't know if it's going to happen in the end. Don't know if how things are going to be there. And like the hotel I'd normally stay at, like everything fully booked and is chock-a-block there, so I'd have to try and be somewhere else in a different place, which is what I did with the first time I went to Essen. But yeah, I don't know if I fancy doing that. It's very, very expensive as well to go there. Would I be able to, like, while things are all up in the air a little bit, would I be able to try not going this year? Although you miss out on seeing a lot of people and seeing a lot of brand new things, which is always a shame. And Essen is its own kind of crazy, massive experience. So far, nothing.
You've missed out another con. Missed out a GridCon.
GridCon, maybe.
Don't know
Oh, Paul's in here. Gaming Rules. Yeah, GridCon will be returning on kind of the second anniversary of the first one. And that's kind of, we'll probably know more over then, wouldn't we? And then AirCon. Yeah, people, apart from the last one, and because there wasn't one this year, people always recommend AirCon, and we've never been to that. So I'd like to go to AirCon. But that's kind of well in the future, isn't it? And that, like March, April kind of thing. So we're talking nearly a year away then. But no firm plans to go to anything. But like with just general life, it's all like, let's see what's open and let's see how we feel about it as it comes up, which isn't ideal for something like Essen that you need to spend a lot of money and put a lot of planning into beforehand. Long live Feast for Odin, I can get behind that. Is it a lot more normal in the US now? It's opening up here again, and the plan that I think there's a bit of in and ahhing about, the schedule is meant to be the 21st of June, and then everything open again, everything normal, but you'll probably still have to wear masks and things like that. But I think that's the plan, isn't it? That everything's open, everything's back on again. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how that gets stuck to. James thought I'd made you up.
No,
yeah,
I'm real.
I am real. You're my excuse for why I don't like any games.
Thanks.
Well, this would be a great game, but Rach unfortunately didn't like it. It's the case a lot of times, though. Right?
Yeah, maybe.
You're harder to please in board game form. You got higher standards, Rach.
Just not very good at games.
That doesn't matter, though. Plans to... Hi, Jamie. Plans to visit England last year. Hopefully you can do it next summer. That's what we're more thinking. Like, hopefully. Although we were probably thinking in lockdown last year, oh, this is all going to be finished next summer. Let's enjoy next summer. And then, unfortunately, it's still kind of... Well, it's a lot more open, isn't it? We can see people and stuff. We can go in people's houses and all of that. But yeah, I'm not sure what... I think it would be so strange stepping into, like, Essen. Like, Essen surely couldn't be as it was if it had to do social distancing and stuff. It would have to have way more space or far fewer people. But I can't imagine being in a place...
I don't think you can guarantee
with that many people.
Social distancing either in places
yeah,
like
I think if you've got that many people in a space as well, even if you've got all of your restrictions and stuff, it's bound to start kind of crumbling a little bit. Or maybe not. Maybe board gamers would be good, strict people about it. We're used to following rules. Don't house rule social distancing. Yes, but it would be great to see people again too. But yeah, play some games at some conventions. I was like, I've never been to a convention in America, or I've never been to a convention outside of the few in England and Essen. They're the only ones I've been to around the world. But yeah, we've only been to America for Florida, haven't we? For Orlando, and love Universal. But probably try and go there at some point when there is, like, there's Dice Tower Con in Florida, isn't there? I think the first time we went to Florida, about coming up to 5 years ago, that is, I think wasn't Dice Tower Con, it had just finished or something like that. We used to ride past the convention center where it had been, I think, a week before we went there or something like that. But yeah, it's, I don't think Rach would want to combine a holiday with a board game convention.
You can go to the convention house.
Well, we got to go to, what's that shop in Florida? Is it Cool Stuff Inc? Where we had a right adventure trying to get there the first time. Just Ubered all, no, it lifted everything the second time. Way easier to get about. Apple, you finished Cloud Spire and got a pounding headache. How did it go? So you're doing scenario 3, right? I think that's the one I did. It's a couple of weeks ago now. But the one where you need to try and defeat their fortress with your siege towers. How did you get on with it? How many renown did you earn? I've got the Portal Seekers thing now, so we'll add some variety next time I do Cloud Spire. Which should be. Maybe it'll be next week. Actually, Mage Knight's been ages, hasn't it? I'm not keeping up with these scheduled things. Too many games. Hi, Francisco. Yeah, GridCon. You need some kind of promotional video to promote the second GridCon. We'll have to use that one to promote this new one coming up. But yeah, there needs to be a sequel. We need to go a different way around so we can see some different service stations and stuff, so we can give them coverage. The one I can never remember the name of any of these places. Oh, Sedgemoor something. Sedgemoor South Services is the place to be in the UK. If you do end up coming to the UK, get yourself to Sedgemoor South Services. Oh yeah, I don't know if I ever linked that in the top 10, like the 5-year anniversary thing. But if you haven't seen it, watch my GridCon video. As self-promotional as that is, I think it's great. I think I'm distant enough for it to be of being a different person that made that, rather than being really arrogant about it. So I don't remember much in it.
Game show voice as well.
Yeah, I think it's really funny. And I should mention, he's gonna be down the screen, but the little robot that writes things in the chat for me, they'll tell you about Patreons, patreon.com/slickerdrips. Pretty much everything that I do is funded by the patrons. Thank you very much. Patrons in the chat, and patrons, if you're watching this later, patrons wherever you are, whether you watch this or not, thank you very, very much for making all of this happen. And all the stuff that's coming up video went up yesterday. That feels like ages ago. Yeah, I made all of that. Some exciting games, and some arrived today as well. What have I had? Shadow Kingdoms of Valeria that I did on Kickstarter way back when. The real thing of that's come. Really excited for that because it was great. What else has come? The Initiative, some kind of co-op deduction mystery game with a comic book. Could be great. And Lions of Lydia that I've been seeing people raving about. Let's have a look. But unfortunately, not in the coming up video and not in the votes because they arrived just too late. So we'll have to have more votes or something like that. There is KCON 2 this summer in late August. I don't know that. I don't think I know that. Oh, I'd like to go to as well, maybe when things are more normal. What is the one? Is it LieraCon? Where you kind of stay in these fancy little chalet things.
That's
and
adventurous for you.
All the cool kids go. We've looked at it before. We've looked at it before, haven't we?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure we've looked at it before.
I don't think it was in holidays.
The last time, yeah, I think that's the problem for us, that Rach is the teacher, so things need to fall in the holidays, and they usually don't. Essen, once, whenever that was, Essen fell in the holidays, and that's the only time Rach has been because of that. Usually it's like the week before or the week after. Yeah, we'll branch out. Conventions. Do you want to have an honoured guest of this guy that some people know from England? Get in touch. What are your favourite colours to play with? Usually, historically, it's been red and you will usually be...
Yellow.
Pink is unusual, isn't it?
Yeah, normally yellow.
Yellow will be in everything.
Sometimes light blue. But if there's pink or purple, I'm snapping them up.
Yeah. And I've... In the channel stuff, I've kind of gravitated towards everything being purple now. Especially in kind of funkier coloured games like Lisboa, where it gives you purple as a player colour. I'm going for that. But then realise that it doesn't really stand out against all the purple that's everywhere. And usually stick to that colour as well, so it's a problem when other people go for like red first, just mistaking their piece for mine the whole time. Or when that game we played at the weekend, when someone was orange and I was red, that was confusing me a bit. Too similar.
What game was that?
Brussels. Brussels 1893 for the first time in many, many years. A lot meaner than I remember it being. YouTube delay does work out actually, because we can... This window is nicely staying static while the chat builds up underneath it, so I can see the actual questions and stuff. In the US, every state sets an opening policy. It's a bit of a mess. Well, that's probably what we're going to end up going into. There was like tiers for all the various areas of...
They did say they weren't going to do
England,
that again, but you never know.
Yeah, I don't trust anything that we say that we're not going to do. But yeah, there'll probably be something like that where kind of worse affected areas are more locked down, which kind of makes sense. But then when everything was in the highest area, it was strange. What's my favourite game that Rachel absolutely detests? This is supposed to be a top 10 at some point of like top 10 games we disagree on, and we could never manage. Like, part of it was time, like especially with lockdown and stuff. Rachel didn't appear on the channel very much in the last year, I'd say. You've had some appearances.
You're looking at me now.
Yeah. But yeah, that was supposed to be a top 10, but partly as well, couldn't really forget a lot of games that we end up not having.
The problem is usually we get rid of them. We don't.
Yeah.
Like Underwater Cities, I don't like. And Tom, you love.
Yeah. But I wouldn't say you really
I don't
detest it.
Detesting is a strong word.
I don't know that there's a game like that
word.
we've kept. Because even like Mage Knight, when you've played it, you liked it. But I think the problem is that it's just way too long for you to want to play it again. I don't know that there's stuff that you really dislike. Because a lot of those, like I say, we end up just getting rid of. Like, there's been some great things that I've had to restrain myself from just getting back again, like Gaia Project. I really liked Gaia Project.
You've brought other things back.
Yeah, like I got Mage Knight back, and yeah, a lot of things it's now like got a little bit of a different opinion on. Not necessarily that Rach would. I don't think you would. But there's like, I would like to, this is a separate topic altogether, but we've been talking about, you know, how I've got games everywhere and we need to make space on these shelves somewhere. It would be nice to go back to some of these games that I'm just kind of, I remember it being good, but do I remember that much about it? Like we ended up playing Brussels 1893, which I didn't remember very much about at all.
Instantly regretted.
But looking at things like Automania and stuff and thinking, I remember that's really good. But even like Zangwo, I remember that being fantastic. That isn't really up for consideration for getting rid of, because I remember it being really awesome. But I want to play all of this stuff again. But I don't know, there must be something that you really had a strong opinion about that I've still got hold of.
No, you put me on the spot here. I don't remember.
You really don't like Shipyard?
No.
I'm not sure why that is.
That several times.
Shipyard's
several
fantastic.
times more than what I would have liked to have
we
played
need to get back on some Shipyard.
I just prefer Nauticus.
That should be this week's game.
Same theme. Looks nicer.
Or maybe there's been some games like, say, Gaia Project was one, and On Mars, and I think something else, where you've just been like,
the rules give me a headache.
Don't get it, and I'm not enjoying any of it. So let's just stop. Maybe that would be Gaia Project then, because I did really enjoy Gaia Project. But the solo mode was, luckily the solo mode was amazing in Gaia Project as well.
Detest is a very strong word. There's games that you really like that I never really want to play, e.g. Agricola.
Oh yeah, there's probably Agricola.
But I don't detest it. I'd play it if I had to.
Yeah, but you wouldn't enjoy it though. You wouldn't enjoy it one bit.
Games where you have to feed your family.
Yeah.
I don't want to feed my family.
Yeah.
I want to focus on the other things.
You find Agricola too stressful, but not even just feeding your family. It's the fact that like plans can be ruined very easily in Agricola unintentionally by something not being there for you anymore, and also you don't like card drafting, and you don't like kind of being dumped with 14 cards at the start of the game and working out a strategy from it.
What was that game? That stockpile game, was it? That bidding one that we got rid of. I can't remember what it was.
Was it stockpile?
Yeah.
Did you?
We got rid of it.
Yeah, we must. You mustn't have not liked it. Yeah, you don't really like
the bidding.
You don't really like auctions as well. Generally, maybe Peloponnese is an exception to that, but generally auctions don't work as well with 2 players anyway. Probably one of them. Probably Agricola actually. I love Agricola. Fantastic. Hotels have signs for masks, but hardly anyone is wearing them. I think that's what it's kind of going to turn into, unfortunately. That like there's like it's only a very tiny thing, but there's like a fun fair kind of around us that's got all the signs up saying, "Everyone, please distance, please wear masks." And we saw it like on a busy day. There were about 2 people wearing masks in the entire thing.
I just think they think, oh, it's outside, so.
Yeah, and it's probably less at risk, but yeah, there's going to be those things where the signs are all there, but people are probably going to. Are they going to keep doing it? Open different states have different policies. Sporting events are opening with limited capacity. I think is all that back on in England? I don't really know much about sports. People were very angry about football things. Yeah, I think they're back, aren't they? I don't know if they've got crowds and stuff. They never kind of went away, did they? Very much. They went away for a little bit, but then came back with cardboard cutouts or screens in the audience or something. I think that was wrestling with screens in the audience. Gen Con has the green light. Is it like Gen Con and it's just fully as it was? Like fully open, fully full? Because I know, I don't know how much by, but UK Games Expo is reduced quite a bit.
Can you remember where all the games on the shelf behind you?
Can I remember where they are? They're on the shelf behind me. Can I remember what they are? Well, yeah, I can see them on the screen right here. Can I remember what they are? Like how to play them all?
Why does it say where? If somebody said a game, can you go and find it?
Vaguely. Probably not as well as I would have been able to. At the old house with the old Cadillacs behind me and stuff, I would have probably been able to find that pretty quickly. I've got some idea now, but that's another thing that I need. Another thing that's on the list is kind of organise this into something. It's organised at the moment kind of just by box shape, just by what will fit on the shelves. Whereas before it had some... Well, I don't think it did have some kind of order to it, but a lot of stuff, when we moved all of this up here, it was just put on shelves and then that'll do. It's not on the floor anymore. It's not in boxes. And that's kind of the way some of it still is, and some of it needs organising. And a lot of it, unfortunately, needs to be moved on, which I don't want to. I want to keep all of the games because they're brilliant, but there's just no space. Yeah, at some point, I imagine, like, Essen and stuff, and the big rush as it all opens, that's surely got to come back eventually. But it does, yeah, it seems like an alien thing.
Oh, no, doesn't it? No. Keep a queue system going. I hate people that push them.
Well, we got special press.
It's rude.
Press allowings, didn't we?
We had to get a good old British queue.
I think we got in early, but we had to rudely push in front of a load of people to get to the things to allow to be let in early. Dice Tower Cruise sounds like a fun gaming vacation. I've never been on any kind of cruise or anything like that. Do you reckon, Rach? Board gaming cruise?
Well, I heard that on cruises you don't get seasick, but I don't know if it's true that I get seasick. Yeah. On little boats.
Yeah, it'd be a bad thing to be trapped on if you felt really seasick. There's an Impractical Jokers cruise as well. Not board game related, but that would be cool. There's a gathering in Haugesund. Is that how I pronounce it? Norway each year, which is basically open for everyone. It's beginning or mid-March and called Midwinter. I think it's something like that. It's around that kind of time for Aircon, but it's not. Oh, you have to get tickets and stuff. That sounds cool. Mentioning Norway, right? I've never been to Norway. Well, I assume I've never been to pretty much everywhere. Oh, you did. Paul did Horizon's Wrath Scenario 1. Never played them before and had no idea how they worked. Yeah, that'll give you a headache. I've been kind of like. I was wondering on the last stream whether to just keep going the order that I was going in or skip to like the new things, and a couple of people were just like, just carry on with the way that it is. So I'm still not sure, but I think I'm definitely gonna finish the Braunen campaign and see how that goes. But yeah, I've never played. I've played against the heirs and the Grove Tenders now, but I have never played as. I haven't seen some of these factions at all, especially not the brand new ones, and I've never played as anyone but the Braunen, really. Never got this far, so it's all new. Too many games will be Chip Theory's next game. Yeah, it'll have to be. All of these things, which I am kind of in favour of and keen for. I've got, like Suburbia Collector's Edition and what is it? What else is there? Like Snowdonia Collector's Edition. I would love to have that Too Many Bones Trove chest and have all of that stuff. But all of these things kind of amount to like you've got this enormous Kallax and it's going to have about 10 games on it because all of these are going to help. All of these are going to take up like a cube each.
You've got no space.
No, need an extension that's just for games. Do we have an organisation strategy for our shelves? I kind of talked about that, but like I would love like when you see on Instagram and stuff when people do those things where they've arranged them by colour. I would love to do something like that. I don't know. Do they just do it by eye? I imagine.
No, it needs to be by.
There isn't like an app sorting that out for them, is there?
Style of game, worker placement.
Yeah, and like, well, kind of maybe dating back to before I did the channel. Like, I didn't rearrange any of the games behind me for a couple of years, and the way all of those games were, you can probably see it in the older videos that I used to have sections of like, what's your game? And all along the top of the Kallaxes, when we could fit things on top of the Kallaxes, was all my Uwe Rosenberg games. That used to be the header picture for the channel, just a picture of that shelf, because I had to just get something quickly. So we used to kind of organise them by there. I had like Clemens Franz art games together, and some publishers were grouped up if I had enough games from those publishers. But generally now, it's just what will fit in the things. And then games kind of put flat in front of the Kallax just because there are too many things. But it's close to the point where it's like, but I love all of these things. But we had to get rid of things before we moved as well that didn't necessarily want to, but just, you need space. Need board game boxes to be smaller. But at the same time, I'm saying that I want trove chests and collector's editions and stuff. And there's like, at some point later this year, there's going to be some enormous Thunderstone Quest box on the way to add a ridiculous amount more to a game that we haven't played nearly enough of. Talisman on Xbox tomorrow. Oh, that's cool. I'm glad that it's coming around. I've never played any version of Talisman. I've seen they've done like Batman Talisman and Kingdom Hearts Talisman now. Rach is into Kingdom Hearts, aren't you, Rach? But I don't think that we would like.
No, it's a shame.
Where am I? Here we go. Where did the name Slicker Drips come from? It is a song by the White Stripes that hasn't really got any meaning as far as I can tell. Well, the song will have meaning, but the title I don't think has got any meaning. And
well, it's a slicker as a coat. And
yeah,
it's dripping.
Yeah, like one of those yellow raincoat things that you see, like like Georgie is wearing at the beginning of the '90s version of it, or when
Bear.
Does he wear one? Doesn't he wear blue?
Oh, but he's still a slicker. Isn't
or like, is it all slick? It doesn't have to be yellow. Or in Friends where
thinking about someone else. Maybe I'm thinking.
In Friends where Monica bangs Ben's head and they hide it by taking the raincoat off the bear and stuff. You remember that, right? Monica Bang. One of them, and it's dripping. That's all I've thought of. I've seen probably fewer people over time, but there has been much dissent over that being a name. But I never thought. I'll talk about this. I'll tweet all the links and stuff when it goes up. I did a podcast last Friday with Joseph Board Games with Niramas, and we talked about this a bit there. That I didn't. That was just my username on things anyway. Like the fact that if anyone sees this on Twitch, by the way, like my username is Slickerdrips on Twitch and all of these places, just because that was my username for things. And yeah, never thought that it was going to be a channel and stuff. And then maybe a few months in, when I thought that this is kind of a channel and stuff, when it came to thinking about names of things, couldn't think of anything at all that I was even vaguely happy with, and just thought, Slickerdrips. It's enigmatic, right? Some people think it sounds dirty, but I think that just says more about them.
I was going to say that's their problem.
Yeah, it's just words, isn't it? And I spoiled the podcast a bit that like anything would sound weird if I didn't want a pun as well. Like, no offense to everyone whose channel is a pun. You can have some great pun names, but I wasn't happy with any of these puns based on board and stuff. And so that's another reason. It's my inability to come up with anything and be happy with any of those things that I came up with. But the names of most things would sound weird if you hadn't heard them a million times. Beatles would sound weird if they weren't the Beatles. It's only because you've heard them a million times. You've heard that thing a million times, and it's just repeated and repeated. That's just the name of the thing. I'm not saying that I'm the Beatles of board gaming, but I'm definitely Beatles of board games. All four of them stacked on top of each other. So it's just the name of a song, but I think you should listen to it because the White Stripes are fantastic. And it's from their first album, which is also absolutely fantastic. And it's like 20 odd years old now. What do I think about Tau and Tinsiu? Played it first time last weekend and quite liked it. Solo down the pipeline. Yes, solo at some point. I don't think it came like top of the vote, but I think it came in a pretty good position to be in a live video at some point when things don't keep pushing in front of it. I haven't played it solo yet. We played it multiplayer. It's probably a couple of months ago now, right? And I remember being frustrated by it.
Which one is this?
It's the David Turtzi game where there's a load of pentagons kind of inside each other, and the place where you put your worker, you've got kind of options either side. It's behind you on the floor. I can't quite remember why though. I don't remember if it's some things
got
felt
more options as you went up.
Yeah, you went like up and down a hill. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There was some. I don't know. There was something.
I got on with that better than you.
Yeah.
I think I just got better options than you when I was going up the hill.
Or I felt more restricted, or something random was happening, or something like that. I need to play it again. I need to play the solo as well, because maybe that fixes everything. Are they fancy little chalets, Paul? You've been to that, right, Paul? The Aerocon.
Well, it says fancy. So
they're fancy. Sure. They're full of fancy people, right? GridCon will have you as a special guest. Thanks, Paul.
See, he says fancy, but then he says special guest.
Yeah, what's that about? I'm a special guest. I'm a documentary filmmaker. Make snappy documentaries. I would make that GridCon video a bit shorter now as well. Ironically, I would cut out more of the board game content. So if that slows it down. Not the convention content.
Next time I'm imagining us going around town as well and just filming the town, filming the chip shop.
Filming around Tiverton. But yeah, I want to be special guests. I want to be special guests everywhere. But GridCon is the only con that's extended the invitation at the moment, so it's the only one that gets the fantastic videos. Oh, red's your colour too. What if we play games then? Well, I'd have to be purple. But then if we're playing with Rach as well...
If it's your game, you take red.
Yeah, it's whoever grabs it first, because usually too polite to say anything about it.
When we used to go gaming, we used to play like at the pub. We used to play with people that... There was this guy that liked to be red. I think Tom used to have a little secret sulk to himself when he didn't get red.
Because the game is just gonna be really confusing.
Secret sulk
I'm not gonna see.
But I don't know. Red seems to be like the colour that everyone thinks is the best colour, and I think that's just, I don't know where that's come from. But I know when I was playing little child games that red was the colour everybody wanted to be. Where's that come from?
Don't know.
Why is red the best colour? Why is it the most wanted colour, I should say? It's not the best colour.
I don't know.
It's most sought after.
It's striking. You can
Red
read
means danger.
back to the White Stripes. You can read some weird interviews as to why they're so into red in there, but saying that like red is like one of the most distinctive things from. I won't talk about all of the examples that are used that red is used in, but like a Coca-Cola bottle and stuff, it's used in really distinctive things.
Just drawn to red. Everybody, maybe because it's a primary.
Like red, white, and black. Their color scheme. I thought, no, let's not go too. Let's just have the name. Let's not go too far copying what they're doing. Although I think the tablecloth in a few videos was red, but found it to be kind of bright and distracting. I think it went to blue pretty quickly.
It's not a background colour.
Red for death. That's a shame, pastel. I can't remember what we were talking about, Janeway. Mostly purple, but if you can't get that green, used to play blue. But yeah, that's a good idea as well. Like switching the color that you want to something that people won't generally pick. Rach, well, I think you're usually any color as long as it's not green.
I don't like green. I don't like green as a colour. Or brown. Green or brown.
Yeah, we were going to do that disagreed with video, but yeah, time and trying to remember games that we'd gotten rid of. Needed a better system of organising games that we used to have. But then, yeah, I don't think it would end up as a negative video. Because one of us would really like the game. Because you really like Takenoko, and it used to drive me mad.
No, I don't think I would. No, I don't like it.
I don't know if you'd like it now.
No. I think it would be more of games that I didn't like than you did like, because games that you don't like are very quickly gotten rid of. And any opinions I have on those games are clearly wrong.
You can have a special section. You've got dungeon pets, Rach. Any video games on your watch list? I don't know. I was really excited about Mass Effect Remastered, but I've got that now. It's just come out. It's fantastic. I'm on number 2 now. It's brilliant. Not gameplay wise, playing through the first one again. It's like a 15-year-old game. But yeah, now I'm getting into 2 and stuff. Story, great though. Female shepherd, she's getting things done. Rach, what's coming up for you? Rach is playing Lumberjack's Dynasty, which looks torturous from the outside.
Wow.
It's a slow-moving game, isn't it? It's a chill-out game.
Watching Lemmy play it makes me want to play it even more.
Yeah.
So I should play it.
It's a chill-out game of being
game.
Kind of a farmer, isn't it? More than a lumberjack.
Yeah. When you're pretty tired and you play a game, you don't need to play a game, but you want to play a game. Have some time before.
I don't know what's coming up.
Before bedtime. That's an easy game just to get into.
I just saw a game on Twitter just before we started this that is called Operation Tango. That is some kind of 2-player only cooperative spy adventure where one of you is a hacker and one of you is something else, and you've got like puzzles to solve, but you can't see each other's screens and stuff, and you have to help through communication. I've got no idea if it's any good or not. I think it's just come out yesterday, and I just literally saw it about 2 minutes before we started. So that sounds pretty cool. But I don't think there's anything massive, video gamey wise, that's kind of still enjoy playing games, but kind of out of the loop.
I suppose like Tales of Arise is coming out.
Yeah, you like the Tales games, RPG kind of things.
JRPG.
Yeah, but I can't think of any.
Like mainstream games, we're not really.
No, like big companies don't tend to make JRPGs anymore, do they? Although I'm sure Tales is like a big publisher, isn't it? But it's kind of an established thing. Like they're not turn-based RPGs aren't really like looked upon as kindly anymore because companies decided that people didn't like them anymore. But hey, we'll change their minds. Need to make more games like Death Stranding. I loved Death Stranding, and that was a couple of years ago now, wasn't it? I don't think, like sometimes I feel like I'd really like to play that again, but I don't think I could. I don't think I would have the patience to do it all over again. But games like that where it's not like I've played plenty of games where it's it's shooting and gunning and all of that kind of thing, but there's something kind of refreshing about a big budget game that is about walking, that makes the basic act of walking a really difficult puzzle. Like Mage Knight. It's the Mage Knight of video games. Are we as Care Bear as Rado is? I think more so.
I think.
Because yeah, there have been like you'll have differing opinions on games anyway. But there have been things like and I may be wrong in like Rado may have changed over the years as well, but he used to not have a problem with like if you steal points, because in a 2-player game it's the same thing as you score in like if you steal a point, it's the same thing as you score in 2 points. And I would just rather just give me 2 points then. Just take that like angle completely out of the game. And I think as time has gone on and we play more and more games, because that's what I try and curate. That's what I try and say yes to and seek out and buy, is games that seem interesting and fun, but also don't lean on negative interactions. Or if it's got it in the game, we can ignore it and it won't make the game suffer. Because sometimes if there's like attacking and you're not going to do it and you both know that the other one isn't going to do it, then you sometimes just ruin a game by doing that, because it's not the way it's been designed.
Yeah, you're not playing the game as intended, so you miss. I think there's been a couple of games where we've played it but haven't done the attacking side, and then we haven't enjoyed it because it's not intended to be played that way. It
wants you to like fight each other. But yeah, I'd say that as time has gone on as well, like we were talking about Brussels 1893, which probably haven't played for 5 years or more, but it sat on the shelf as me remembering it was good. Didn't really remember anything about the mechanics of it. I remember there's some kind of auction thing in it, but then when it came to play it last weekend, we did play it with more players as well, so maybe it was less extreme with fewer players. But yeah, just like this is way too mean. Like, do not want to play this ever
There were some
again.
bad feelings around the table.
Well, they're not me, because my strategy kind of meant that I was just on my own building things while everyone fought over auctions and stuff. But yeah, I think gotten more extreme with it as time's gone on, just because we play more and more great games that don't have any kind of stealing or attacking or anything like that in, so that when it does crop up in games, it feels more extreme. And there are things as well that like I can think are very clever. Like I've talked about, I keep going on about Architects of the West Kingdom and you arresting other players' meeples, and I can totally see how that's a necessary and clever part of the game, and it's a way of getting your workers back, and there's all sorts of interesting decisions that are brought up from it. Still though, in a multiplayer game, we would not want to do that. And just it's kind of like, I don't know, the actual thematic angle of what you're doing, and while it's necessary to hold other people back, would rather just get on with doing our own thing and not really be involved. Like Hadrian's Wall that we played, you could definitely say that in most ways it's a multiplayer solitaire game, but it's far better for that. I would really not like it if you could get in the way of other people's things in there. So I would say we are as Care Bear, if not more. And that's why originally, that when I was just kind of getting all these games to begin with, it's why I'd gravitated towards Rado. But kind of as well, seeing that I didn't like things about games and like, oh, cool, and watching Rado and seeing that, oh, well, there is this whole avenue of games that don't have any of that in it, and seeing that is actually still a big chunk of games. You are ignoring a ton of games, which is kind of cool as well when you are looking through so many games that are coming out at Essen and stuff. It's nice to be able to disc out of just like, okay, we're attacking each other, wouldn't like that. Whittle down this list of like 1,300 games a little bit quicker. What do we think about Castell? Is that the Renegade game where it's about the human pyramids? We haven't played it. I haven't looked for a while, but I couldn't get a copy of it. I was trying to buy one and it seemed out of stock everywhere. But I love the look of it. I've heard good things. I would like to play it. I hope I'm thinking of the the right game now. Rach, not a fan of Suchi games. Not generally. I think you liked Praga, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, you enjoyed Praga, but generally, and you liked Monster Baby Rescue. What was it called?
It's a very simple game.
Yeah, that's a much lighter than a normal sushi game. I think you enjoyed Last Will. Not massively, but you don't really like Underwater Cities and Shipyard. You really didn't like Pulsar 2849.
No, sorry, Suchi.
Different strokes.
Suhi.
Whereas, for me, one of the best designers there is. Got a brand new big heavy game coming out this year, right? Can't wait. Agricola Misery Farming. No, it's
Yes,
not.
Misery
It's not
Farm.
Misery Farming.
Yes.
No.
Yes, Misery Farm.
It's wonderful, plentiful resource farming.
Miserable.
No, you just got to get some farming skills down. I'm sure if I played it against experienced agricolas, I would get stomped. But yeah, just love hatching a plan out of those 14 cards and seeing how much of that plan you can actually get in action, because people will get in the way and ruin it whether they mean to or not.
In my hand, covered in text. I don't want all
14 cards, Rach.
Well, that's
seven occupations, 7 minor improvements. So good. We've got to.
Then you choose a few to focus on, and then somebody ruins all your plans.
Yeah, so you gotta duck and dive.
No.
You gotta shuck and jive with these Euro games. They're tricky. Paul, you're not a Caverner, are you? Oh no. We only played Caverna once. I did say this in my Uwe video, that maybe Caverna needs another look, because it was many, many years ago, and we played it once. But yeah, you didn't like seeing all of those buildings in front of you just at the start of the game, and it's just like, can build anything.
I think I would be more open to that now.
Maybe.
That was quite early on. That was when we used to go to the gaming group.
I really liked that you could go on expeditions and get XP for your dwarves and stuff. That was cool, but I missed the cards. Put cards in Caverna and I'll be all about it. You need 14 cards. Gen Con's reduced capacity. It makes more sense than many. Oh yeah, I saw that. Haven't like Asmodee and stuff pulled out of it?
Yeah.
And they were rumouring, like, are they going to do their own con or something like that? But I imagine it's just that people don't know if like customers are going to be there, and maybe is it worth the huge costs if you don't know like the visitors, if the rules are going to change, that kind of thing. I can see it being tricky still, even all this time on. It's still being held is confusing. It won't be the same. Yeah, I can kind of understand that, like, people, there's money involved and people want to commit to these things, and maybe there's kind of contracts in terms of the places and stuff that I know that it's a completely different thing, but like for like performers last year before the lockdown happened here, if they cancelled their gigs, they had to put a load of money up for the bill themselves because it was counted as them saying no. Whereas as soon as the lockdown came in and they had to cancel the gigs, insurance and stuff covers that. So maybe it's a similar thing that, like, if they cancelled Gen Con, maybe there would be like a load of money paid to venues and all of these people. I don't know. It's all contracts and stuff behind the scenes in it. And part of it will just want to be, let's try and get back to some semblance of normal, which is like a cool goal, but I don't know if we're there yet.
What is normal anymore?
No. Normal is
normal's locked
years. In now. You're gonna help demo Feudum. Isn't Feudum like?
No, it says that it was, yeah.
Crazy complex kind of thing. I don't think we haven't played Feudum. Monica, you've got yours organised according to alphabet and box size, and also games with solo and without. Oh, that's cool. I've never had that much organisation in mine. The biggest point of organisation is just desperately try and fit these things in the shelves so that I can get more.
We have too many new to be. Ours would have to be oldest. Games we've had the longest are games we've had the shortest amount of time.
Yeah.
That would have to be the organisation system.
And it's starting to be now. If we looked at the oldest games we have, like, say, Brussels, like, I think those would be the ones that we'd like look at not having anymore. But we'd play them again to
I don't know.
To make sure.
We didn't play it expecting that we would dislike it.
No. Yido Big Box Tricarian Collector's Edition. Yeah, huge things. Although, yeah, I would like them. But, yeah, because you've got the lovely game trays and stuff inside them as well. To play board game apps, Ticket to Ride is my favourite. I think the Ticket to Ride app is fantastic. And it turns it into, especially playing against bots and stuff. Played loads of, I think I had it on my phone. Played loads of snappy games of it. Not really at the moment. Although, I've played Wingspan, played kind of board game adjacent, if you say kind of board game adjacent things like the roguelike deck builders, played a ton of Slay the Spire. So much of that game. But not really, like, lately. Haven't in the lockdown or anything like that. I've got them, and like, someone on my Discord today said that the Eon's End has got a fantastic adaptation that I've played and enjoyed loads, and that's on Kickstarter now for the New Age expansion, which is one of the expansions for the board game, but it adds like the narrative component and stuff to it. So yeah, hope that funds. But not really. I've got loads, but at the moment anyway. Oh dear. Used to play on, you know, all the Yukata and Board Game Arena and stuff, but just gravitated away a bit. I think the more kind of new games we've had to learn and playing games to play on the channel and stuff, gravitated again in kind of, it goes in kind of cycles, but kind of at the point of doing things other than board games when we're not kind of playing them at the weekend, or I'm playing them in the week and filming them and stuff. At the moment, anyway. You got them in publishers, designers, and then alphabetical, and then shapes of boxes.
I think
publisher's a good one, because often, like the What's Your Game boxes, beautifully line up. They've got very similar designs. Like I'm covering. Oh, you can kind of see them. You see like the West Kingdom games there. I love that. That makes a nice little display of them. Although the ones that are getting expansions are coming in bigger boxes now, aren't they? So they won't all line up. Maybe they'll all get expansions. But yeah, I like that all the Garfield games are all those smaller boxes as well. Will look nice on the shelf all next to each other. Am I planning another Hadrian's Wall stream? Well, Hadrian's Wall, I did the day after I did that stream when it was all set up, and I was thinking, oh, what am I going to film today? I thought, well, I could just shuffle the cards and I could film Hadrian's Wall. So that is on Patreon now to watch, where I went a different way from the stream. I would like to. I don't think it got many votes in that. I did another vote on Patreon for what would you like to see in like the live playthroughs. And I suppose I've already done 2 now. So that will be coming out on the normal channel on Friday, I believe. I have to check the schedule. It's coming out on Friday or Saturday anyway. So that's another. I did the buildings that I kind of ignored in the live one. I focused on those in the recorded playthrough. And I also tried to edit the live playthrough and see how that went. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing that, but yeah, it will be that way for Hadrian's Wall. Maybe there'll be another one though, because there is still plenty to do in Hadrian's Wall. I've seen the Friends reunion. Rach still hasn't seen the Friends reunion. Rach isn't quite as keen on Friends. Are you keen on? You like Friends, don't you? You enjoy Friends.
I'm just not. You're a crazy fan though.
I've seen Friends so many
Tom
times.
Can, if you said, I don't know, the basic storyline of like a synopsis of an episode, it could tell you which episode it is. If you talked about a celebrity that did a cameo, he knows what episode, like just knows everything.
Yeah, well, like it's partly because like since like
you can show him an outfit and sometimes he'll know what episode that they were wearing that outfit in, and you can like the name of the episode and what season.
But it's kind of because like for probably like it's probably since like 2000 or something like that when my sister and I started watching it, when we're still probably fairly young. I'd have been like 12 or something like that. And we used to get them from the video shop and copy the videos. Shouldn't do that, although they don't exist anymore. Maybe they went out of business because we were copying the Friends videos. But yeah, watched them so many times. So many times. Maybe not the last couple of series because they were on like live and stuff. But all the ones that were on videotape, watched them a ridiculous amount of times. And still, watching them again now. Watch the Friends reunion. I've just started watching Friends again. And I do agree with like... There is plenty of stuff in like Friends, it's a show from 25 years ago, right? About that, more than that. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff that's weird. There's plenty of stuff in things that I love that Vic and Bob made that you're like, you actually wouldn't do that now. But yeah, overall, I love Friends. It's so good. But yes, I saw the Friends reunion and it was lovely. I was worried about some things in it. Not keen on James Corden. Some of the stuff was a bit skippable. Like I wasn't enjoying the fashion show, but then Matt LeBlanc came in wearing everything Chandler owned. Won me back. It was a lovely, heartwarming reunion. You'll love it, Rach. It's great. Not fussed.
No.
It's like 2 hours of old friends. I said, you muted the Q&A. Well, you can get the gist of what we were doing from the expressions. You'll surely see from our expressions that I was talking about friends there. I feel like I always regret your screen names and always choose something dumb. But it's if you change your YouTube handle, it's like using your personality. Yeah, I suppose like yeah, you get to know like people's usernames and stuff. Like when people had started like new channels and things, like you don't realize that they've done it for ages and just assume that they're a different person coming around. But yeah, so I'm kind of like I've thought about changing. Like I've thought over the years, like should I do something about it being Slicker Drips for the people that for some reason will not watch me, and there are people that think that will not watch me because it's called Slicker Drips, will not like take me seriously, although you shouldn't take me seriously anyway, but like for some reason that is off-putting enough that they will not click on my videos. And should it be like Slicker Games or something? But then I just think no, it's called Slicker Drips, why not? From reading the rules, it reminds me of Anachrony Solo. I don't know what that means. Remember, Rach. I don't know how far back we are in here.
Oh, I assume that's student.
Maybe. Oh, is it? Yeah. I think Marty, Loki, and Thor should be special guests. Yeah, I don't know how we would. Well, yeah, we could on the next dual stream that Paul and I do. If how are Loki and Thor appearing on camera in that fashion, Paul? Can you get them in some kind of static cam situation? But I'm sure we could do that somehow. If we can dual stream board games, we can surely dual stream cats as well. Any big new games you'll try solo soon? What was on? Oh, I've got my lists right here. Big brand new ones that I'll do solo.
You're gonna do? Oh no, are you doing Destiny? So?
Oh yeah, Destiny's the brand new. It's pretty new, isn't it? It's just getting delivered. It's been delivered to backers, and now it's going to come out for pre-orders and stuff. New kind of story-based game from Lucky Duck. There is Mercado de Lisboa, which we've played multiplayer. It's a bit mean. Isn't it, Rach? Bit cutthroat, maybe. Not mean in like that you're stealing things from each other, but
you can put yourself in certain places that stops people getting things or the restaurant. Yeah.
Very clever though. Imperium as well. Like I did a video for Imperium, which I don't remember the ins and outs of the actual game. I did a video for Imperium when it was going to be on Kickstarter from NSKN probably 3 years ago or something, and for various reasons it didn't get made and got transferred and all of that stuff. But I've got a copy of the 2 versions of Imperium now, David Tortzi and Nigel Buckle, and yeah, really, really keen to kind of get refreshed on Imperium and see its fancy new version. Super Skill Pinball, I know isn't maybe not a big new game, but it's so good. Maybe it's definitely going to be one of my favourite roll and write games. We've played the print and play of it. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and I've got the final version of that now. I don't know, for big brand new ones, that might be all the things, because I don't know. We've got like Vienna Connection, the new detective game, but we're probably going to be playing that 2 players, and it'll probably just be like a first impression, so I don't spoil stuff, rather than trying to go through a bit of the case or something, which is always a bit weird when like it needs to be done, so I'm not spoiling a deduction game. But yeah, it's nice to play through things when I can. Playing Gems of War. I haven't seen Gems of War and Garden Pause, but Door for Romantic I played a bit of when it came out.
I've got Garden. I haven't.
Do you like it, Rach?
I haven't played really much of it. Not yet.
Yeah, Door for Romantic is a a cool, like, I like the idea of these digital only board games and getting over kind of some of the limitations that turning that into a physical game would have. Same as like Slay the Spire, you couldn't do half those. Like, they are making a board game version of it though, so I'll be interested to see how that turns out. But it uses its video gameness to its advantage while still being an amazing deck building card game. I've seen the YouTubers try, guys. No, all grown men acting like crazy people. No, what is it? Board game related or just kind of funny guy related? But no, I haven't seen that. Grindstone just came out for PC. What is Grindstone? Any desire to play Gloomhaven? Oh yeah, I would really like to play Gloomhaven Digital as well. I've heard fantastic things.
Yeah, I've played some of
Oh yeah, you've got it, haven't you?
Yeah.
But at some point they will be adding like the story and stuff to it. Like I think there is a cool. I can't. Is it like what's the system called now? Where you kind of play through and unlock objectives and characters and stuff, don't you?
Yeah.
It's not the story of Gloomhaven, but there is a
Just
kind
like a
of
campaign, isn't
yeah.
it?
There's like a campaign thing to it, but yeah, I'd love to play Gloomhaven Digital. But then soon, isn't it like towards the end of the year or something? Frosthaven's going to be here, and oh wow, that might be the yearly quota of havening in that. We need to play Kalis. We've played Kalis before. Yeah, don't like it. That Provost, can't stand it. Although Kalis Magna Carta, the kind of mini, more card gamey version of it, optional rule, just take the Provost out of it. It's fantastic. It's better than, well, I haven't played the new Kalis, but as far as I know, the Provost is still there, and yeah, just unnecessary. Spoiled the game when we played it multiplayer. Especially because, like, I'm not going to cut people's buildings off. So it's not on Steam, it's on the Epic Store. Epic Store. I love Sushi games. What are your thoughts on Destiny? Like the video game Destiny? I have no thoughts on the video game Destiny. But the board game Destinies, strange. Frustrating. Being cooperative, being competitive.
I mean, we could just say that we were going to play all 5 scenarios, and we're not.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're not going to be continuing on.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably going to be more
Make of that what you will.
More a solo thing, I think. Although I was surprised because as well we would have played Destinies with our friends, but it's a 1 to 3 player game, and then I see that if you get a certain expansion, you can play it 2v2 in teams, which would have been cool, but you need this expansion that, as far as I know, isn't available right now. But I am, we've not been crazy keen on the multiplayer, but I'm keen to see what it'll be like just strolling about in the solo explorer mode. When I think if you take the competition out of, like, I think that's why, like, they're different types of games, but that's why, like, Tales of the Arabian Nights, when we played that, always, I think, ended up going down badly for at least one person, had a miserable time playing it. And then Agents of Smirch, which is basically taking most of the elements out of Arabian Nights, but making it cooperative, means that even if things like that keep happening to you, you're still part of a team, you're still contributing to it, you're still kind of adding to this story and things. And that's why, like, cooperative legacy, I think, has worked so well. And when we've tried competitive in Charterstone for various additional reasons, I think the fact that it is a competitive ongoing thing as
storytelling games are much better, I think, co-op anyway, because you're enjoying the story together, or if things go badly,
I think
together.
Not that there's a particular mean part to it, but there is a kind of thing as well where you need to read things out in. Like, some stuff's private, like your particular destiny in Destinies is secret, and you know what your goal to win the game is. But you will kind of see, like, you will talk to a priest and need to read it out to everyone that, oh, the priest says go here and get these things. And so then anyone on their turn could go over there and try and get these things before you. And there's some limitations to that. Some things you can't get in the way. Sometimes you can complete things ahead of people.
The game clearly says that your destiny can happen no matter what. People can't stop you from doing your destiny, but they can make it take a lot to complete your destiny. Yeah.
And they can kind of finish things you've been working towards, and then you don't get anything. Yeah. I think there is like a there is a type of gamer that will really, really, really appeal to. But so far, competitively, that's not us. But as I say, solo, that might be great. Got dinner, salmon and pasta today. I don't know what we're going to have. We need to go and get something, some kind of ingredient, and then actually get stuff going. I think the decision for pubs not to go to Gen Con, partly sales, partly because they don't want to. Yeah, I think if it does go down as like a bad thing, then yeah, they might not want to be associated with it. Crazy baggy lady. I like that description. So all games are sorted quite well. Yeah, I think like older games, I used to have like saw it when I opened Castles of Burgundy yesterday. We used to have those they call them Plano boxes, right? In America, I can't remember what they're just like plastic organizer boxes.
Put, like, little nails and screw. Like,
used to have them for every game. Be obsessed with organizing all that stuff. And as things have gone on, I'm gravitating towards less and less. It's not quite all in just one bag, but just too many games as well to keep organized for me. When I first saw is it Eric Martin on Board Game Geek, how he organizes his games is when they finish playing, he sweeps all of the components into the box and shuts the box, and that is it. And if they get around to it again, it's future Eric's problem of sorting it out to get to play it again. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm kind of seeing the mindset more of, originally being like, sacrilege, how could you possibly do that? Whereas now it's like, we would eliminate cleanup time. But then things might get hurt. I don't know. Slay the Spire and Monster Train. Roguebook. Yeah, I think you may have mentioned it to me. Yeah, I need to keep an eye out for that. I'm keen to like Monster Train I enjoyed, but it didn't kind of get its hooks into me as much as Slay the Spire did. But yeah, I'm up for trying any game along those lines. And Paperback Adventures that's on Kickstarter now, I'm involved with. But that's kind of taking that roguelike deck buildery game and bringing it back into the physical realm somehow. And I really enjoyed Paperback anyway, so I'm looking forward to that. How do you feel about extra large boxes to hold base game and tons of expansion stuff? I really love them. I know in terms of space, like I used to really love, like small boxes and like I like that with Quacks of Quedlinburg, I can cram it all into the expansion box so I can maybe fit another game on the shelf. And I used to have like Shadowrun Crossfire in the little expansion box because it just about fit in there with it bulging through the lid. But I really, really love kind of beautiful organization and stuff. And when you see like the it's mainly down to game trays, right? Although I don't think Snowdonia is game trays, but you see all of these like custom meeples and all the beautiful custom made trays for things. When I see like if you buy Euphoria now, you get it with game trays and stuff inside, which I'm hugely jealous of, by the way. I'm not going to buy a brand new copy of Euphoria for it, but yeah, they make fantastic, beautiful things. And I do like, I've done plenty of videos on folded space inserts and E-Raptor inserts and all sorts of beautiful wooden things. But when it comes with those new things, I've seen the pictures of the Tricarian one. It looks amazing. Is Marty there?
On the floor.
Yeah, Marty's not on Marty Cam. He has decided to be underneath.
Considering whether I try and move the camera, but then everybody would see my messy cable.
Yeah, he's underneath. He's underneath the chair. He's
hot,
yeah,
so he stretches out.
Yeah,
when
he's not going to be in his. He's not going to be in his hot bed. Yeah, I think like for space, as I was saying, it's going to end up me being that I've got this like, was it like 6x4 Kallax, and it's going to just have like one game per cube, but it's going to be beautiful. Like that trove chest for Too Many Bones. It's an entire Kallax cube for a game. Admittedly, a game that's got a ton of content, but like our friend's got a trove chest, and when he showed us it, like that magnetic draw pull thing, all the special tins for all of the stuff, it's so beautiful. Organization is amazing. So I shouldn't like them. I should want more space, but they're amazing. A few of those now, at least one coming. Yeah, I think it's kind of leaning more towards like, I need to clear all this space out. The Snowdonia master set's on its way. Got to get rid of 2 games to fit that in. I remember when your college roommate, when we watched it, are we on Friends? Yeah, my sister, like, there was that, what's that game where you put your phone on your head and have to guess who the thing is? I can't remember. There's like a phone game, right? And you've got a name on your head and you flick it up when they guess it right. There's like a Friends expansion to that. And my sister and I, because we watched Friends so many times together, yeah, we're experts at that. So good at it. So good.
What character said this? Blah, 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 blah. And you just know.
And just carry on the lines. Like, I also, and they definitely know the right time to release all of this stuff. That I bought Lego Central Perk when that came out, and it's amazing. And they've just released like the Friends apartments in Lego. It's so good. And when they mention like all of the little bits of like, oh, this is from this, and this is Rachel's outfit from the episode where Marcel escaped. I'm just like, yeah, click that on. Look, it's that outfit there. I remember the episode where Phoebe runs weird. That's what she's wearing there. So good. Complete series box of early edition 7 Days and Andromeda. I haven't seen any of those things. You might have seen Andromeda, Rach. No. Rach is into Stargate.
I've seen all of Stargate.
I haven't really seen any of that. I don't know why. I really liked sci-fi things, but never watched any of this stuff. I've tried. I'm bit by bit. In about 10 years, maybe I'll be a proper Star Trek fan. I've tried bits, and I don't dislike it. I've enjoyed what I've seen, but for some reason, it's never clicked into that. Now I must watch all of them. I've enjoyed. It's been bits of Next Generation, although like first series that people say, oh, you should watch later series and stuff. But you need to watch them in order, right? I can't possibly skip things. And original series for different reasons have been really enjoyable, but for some reason, never managed to click enough. Vicky is rewatching Friends for the past few months. It's fantastic. We need to play that Friends thing on your head game. With Vicky, I applaud anyone rewatching Friends.
You made us sit through. What was that game you brought?
Oh yeah, they did a game of like. Do you remember when Joey was auditioning to be the host of a game show and it was Bamboozled? And the whole joke of that episode was that like he was getting Chandler and Ross to play a ridiculous game that couldn't possibly have proper rules and stuff. And we found it in like a cheap shop that they've made a board game version of that, where it's like Bamboozled, you get Wicked Wango cards and all of that stuff, and it's basically nonsense and random.
Loads of the questions are about Friends.
Loads of the questions are trivia questions, and it's so good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
it's so stupid.
It was just before lockdown too. Here we took it around our friends, and that was.
Yeah, nobody else enjoyed it, but also I thought about like I wanted to do this. I think for last anniversary maybe. Or I was thinking about it for this anniversary, and like maybe it'll be for like 400, or I think that's coming up too soon. At some point when restrictions are over and stuff, they've done a board game of, you know, what they play in the one with the embryos, where the boys and girls do a trivia game against each other and the girls lose their apartment. They've done that game, but it's Friends trivia. I'd like to do that, but.
We put like a pack of cards, didn't we? That was
I've got a little Friends trivia game.
And you just know the answer to everything.
Yeah. But like, just need to watch it a few hundred times over your childhood, and you'll remember it. So yeah, it should be me against my sister in like a trivia game if she wants to be in a board game video, and if anybody wants to watch a Friends trivia board game. Wait, let's do a Friends Q&A next time. As our go-to show late at night. Yeah. It's just fantastic. Like, sometimes it needs a break. It's probably been a few years since I've last watched them, but it's been the right amount of time. I'm really enjoying it again. Just finished season 1. Since You Solo reminds you of Anachrony. Oh, okay. Anachrony Solo. Cool. Because I enjoyed Anachrony Solo. Flicker Trips is a fine game, right? It's a fine name. It's just a name. Going to eat lunch, new content for a while. Yeah, thank you for joining us. I am quite proud, especially as like a 5-year milestone. It's weird looking back on all of this stuff, and there's been a lot of stuff made now, hasn't there? It's cool. But But thank you for watching. Want to buy Super Skill Pinball? Yeah, it's taken ages to come out in England as well. Like, I don't know if it's made it to Norway, but it came out in America. I'm probably exaggerating, but it feels like a year ago it came out in the US, and it's taken that long because, like, they're talking about an expansion that's about to come out. I'm just thinking, how long is that going to take? I ordered it from America because there was still no sign of it ever coming out here, and because I wanted these Mage Knight cards. Basically, the only thing that I haven't got from the Ultimate Edition is like these 5 cards, which they sell on their store, but they're in America. And so I thought, I can't possibly pay all of this postage and stuff just to buy 5 cards. Oh, I can buy Super Skill Pinball. And that was kind of at the beginning of April, and it just arrived last week, which is like a week after it came out in England. Could have just bought it from here. But I wouldn't have got the Mage Knight cards, Rach. And they're surely going to be amazing. Will Rachel play with you on stream sometimes? I think so.
I do play on stream. I've been.
I think in longer holidays, this at the moment is like half term, but it's only a week, and Rachel's got a ton of stuff to do, work related things. So it's not really like she's on holiday at the moment. If in games like, it's usually like real time games and stuff where she will appear.
Like Queen's Architect.
Probably more over, because like the next holiday is like the 6 weeks, isn't it? Like the end of term thing. So there are surely going to be playthroughs and streams and stuff over the course of the summer that Rach will be in. But yes, she'll be on sometimes. How are we doing with cooperative games? I kind of lean more towards cooperative stuff, I think, as time goes on. Still, there's tons of this is like the majority of it is all competitive, right? But in general, I just think let's all just have fun, working together and stuff. Like Sleeping Gods worked fantastically cooperatively. Really enjoyed it. Gems of War is great. Just started playing it recently myself. I'll make a note. What was the other one? You've got the other one, haven't you, Rach? Gems of War.
There's another one in the middle.
Gems of War and something Richard Garfield's deck building thingamajig. I'll remember it. I'm sure it'll come up.
Guildmaster mode.
Where is it? I think I skipped one. Try Guys isn't board game related. They try stuff like cooking without a recipe or driving intoxicated responsibly. Let's see how that's possible. But the Try Guys have apparently done it. I have to check them out. Gloomhaven Guildmaster mode. Better than the actual campaign. I need to get on it. I am well behind. But yeah, I'm keen for it. Gloomhaven is my favourite. And I'd always be keen for more. Finally getting around to trying the King's Abbey. Great potential. Is the King's Abbey the one that I'm thinking of? The one that I did ages ago? No, I'm not Wikipedia in it. I should be BGG in it. King's Abbey. Yes, that's the one that... We had that ages ago, didn't we? Do you remember it? There was loads of worker placement spots and it had dice in it. It's been a bit vague now because I haven't played that for about 5 years. That's one of the videos I think I filmed when we were in Florida the first time, which is when the channel was only a few months old. I think it was one of my holdover videos. I remember enjoying it. Clearly not enough to keep a fresh off, but that's just virtue of having so many things. Yeah, I think it was cool. Hi, Christopher. I keep doing great work. Thank you. I'm glad that I can teach you some new games. Although Klingon subtitles, I mess up. Hi, Dency Wenzy. Hello. I don't know how it's possible. It's just somehow I manage. It's being at work all day and just jumping straight onto a stream. We're going to do a Hall of the Mountain King vid. I don't think so. Or maybe. Who knows? Maybe if I get sent one. I don't really know much about that. I've seen videos about it, I think. Well, not... I've seen posts about it. I haven't watched videos about what kind of game it is. Would I like it? Hi, Joseph. Look out for our podcast coming up soon, at some point. Hadrian's Wall is very, very cool. There was no live gaming. We're just Q&A-ing at the moment. Hopefully it's got the right stream names everywhere. It's Streamlabs is disagreeing with me when I say the stream should be called something. It's calling it something from ages ago. Yeah, Rach isn't fussed about the Friends Lego.
Very expensive.
Yeah, well, Lego is very expensive. You enjoyed the, what did we have? Was it like an It's a gingerbread house, wasn't it?
But
that was expensive. That was about £80. Although I saw on Twitter as well before I started this, there is a Spider-Man Daily Bugle Lego set that is like a great big tall skyscraper thing, and then on the back of it you can see in all the rooms, you can see J. Jonah Jameson's office and stuff, but it's like 250
quid. We haven't got space for board games. We haven't got space for the board games that we have in the house, and now we've got to find somewhere to put all these massive pieces
the Lego
of Lego.
Friends things are art, aren't they? They're things that you can have on a shelf in the living room.
You better put up some shelves then.
That's art. Everyone wants to see Joey and Chandler's apartment. I love all of the little references to episodes and things. All the little Easter eggs they put in the Friends sets as well. Beautiful. In Joey and Chandler's apartment, the sticker on the TV is Joey being Dr. Drake Ramore. Lovely little touch. Never watched Friends. Get on it. I don't know how it would be watching it, because I do see, like, I think it's partly because a community account that I follow for the TV show Community, which it might be the best thing that's ever been made, seems to really not like Friends. And so I see a lot of posts he's liked from people that don't like Friends and talk about how pleased they are that they haven't watched Friends. And I think maybe come into it now, the people that complain about, because there is a lot of, like, the kind of things that you wouldn't make jokes about now, that in the mid-90s were like go-to things. So I think that would be kind of more of a shock. It's still like, as you watch it now, let's say as we've been watching things like Shooting Stars that are old things, there are some things in there where you're like, oh dear. Oh dear.
We're in our living room and we're still looking around awkwardly like, did that just happen?
Yeah. What were you thinking? But yeah, it's just like, things change, don't they? There's a lot of good in Friends for things that would definitely seem problematic now. But yeah, I wonder if that's a kind of thing that maybe the people that are more vocal about that, if you're coming to it brand new now, some of that stuff is going to be more egregious. Do I like box inserts? I love box inserts. Been talking about like deluxe editions of games and stuff, and how the Kallax is slowly being taken over by these enormous boxes of beautifully organised but massive games. Absolutely love it. Which movie have I watched the most? I don't know. I've seen Terminator 2 loads of times, but like I'm quite bad for rewatching stuff that I do like. As with Friends, the reason I've seen the whole series so many times is that I leave breaks more now, but certainly not when I was a kid and stuff. I would just watch things on tape again and again and again and again and again. So there are things like, probably like Ghostbusters. Had Ghostbusters on loads and loads. What else, Rach? Like the Back to the Futures. Watched them loads. In terms of what I've seen the most times. No, Robocop would have been later. I probably wouldn't have seen Robocop till I was like 13 or something like that. Although I watched Terminator 2, which still, I think, absolutely fantastic film. My mum taped it off the TV and cut some scenes out with some kind of on-the-fly pausing where she knew that certain kind of unsuitable scenes would be. But yeah, so maybe I've seen that loads and loads of times. But it could be, like, if you go back to, I wish there was like stats for these things. It could be something like Space Jam, of just like, it could be Wild Wild West actually, because if you mean what have you been to see at the cinema the most times, I went to see Wild Wild West at the cinema 5 times in 5 days. Partly because I was on holiday, and that was on at the cinema at the Butlins, and I could sneak in because it was a 12 and I wasn't 12. But yeah, Will Smith, right? And I'm sure I haven't seen Wild Wild West for, I want to say, probably about 15 years or more. And I know it's kind of a joke of like how bad a film it was, but as a kid going to see it for the first time, I absolutely loved it. I loved Will Smith. and who can deny the power of that theme song? But I think Wild Wild West would be another one where it's a kind of shock as some of the things that are in it. Like I remember when he and Loveless have a kind of insult war, and it's kind of even as a knowing joke. Why would you do that? Have you ever gotten so frustrated with a game that you just wanted to get up and leave? Yeah, Rach more than me, I think.
There was a game, I can't remember what game it was, where we were reading a rule book and we just put this away. But
yeah, there's some games where it's just like, yeah, this is going to be too mean. We're just not going to play with this at all. We're just not going to do this.
Sometimes, like, it'll be clear I'm not enjoying the game, and Tom will say, "Let's put it away," and I'm like, "No, we need to play it," and we do carry on playing it. But there's been times where I'm not.
Yeah, but like, yeah, sometimes you just know, and you don't need to get to the end of it because you know how you feel about it. Nothing that comes at the end of the game is going to change how you feel, and if you're really not enjoying it that much, like, and it's easier with just the two of us as well. So we can, like, I understand if you're at a game group and stuff, you probably don't want to do that. If there's like other people at the table, especially if they're like strangers as well, you don't want to ruin them enjoying it. But if it's just the two of us, and unless one person is really loving it,
I think if we played Brussels, just the two of us, we would have stopped playing that.
Maybe
because we were playing with our friends.
But it's just
we can't stop playing. You know, if we're with other people, we can't just get up and leave. There's times I want to get up and leave, but we're in the game for everyone.
Yeah. Try and keep the most people happy. We are still having a heat wave. Like the weather was like.
It has given out rain here.
Has it?
In about 20 minutes, and I've got washing out. So.
Oh yeah, the weather was saying.
I'll have to get that in a minute.
The weather was saying like it was going to rain midweek, and it hasn't. It's just stayed very, very hot. So, but it does say actually yes, drizzle is starting in 32 minutes.
100% as well.
But we will be finished by then. I think we are getting towards. We're definitely not in the middle of the chat window anymore. We're getting towards the bottom. Do I have legs, or do we only have one leg like gaming rules? Paul? So you're not telling us? Has he got some kind of $6 million man situation going on? Paul's had light rain. We're getting Paul's rain. It's moving up from the south.
It back.
Yeah, he's had it first. Joseph can't decide if you're going to edit the podcast or mow the lawn. Not that hard to choose. Yeah, mowing the lawn is really fun.
I had to do it this week.
Yeah, I don't enjoy mowing the lawn.
Somebody had his jab, his vaccine.
Shoulder hurt, can't do it.
So he's had an arm ache.
But I did strim the lawn.
You did trim. I can't do the trim.
Terminator 2 is your favourite in the franchise? Absolutely. I can see people maybe liking the different feel of like Terminator 1. That it's more kind of a horror-y thing. But I think even though like the CGI and stuff in Terminator 2, like by today's standards, or like some of the stuff looks fantastic still. Like when it turns into metal and morph and stuff, it's a bit kind of basic compared to what they would do now, right? But considering they did that in like, when did they make that? 1991? It's crazy that they managed to pull off that film, and it's so good. And it's even better if you know the first one well and that be scared of the Terminator, and then he turns out that he's there to save them all. Spoilers, but you should watch Terminator 2. It's so good. Still haven't seen.
Is it classed as spoilers if the film's that old?
No, I'm only joking. You should have seen Terminator 2 by now.
There must be a cut-off point for spoilers.
I haven't seen still the Dark Fate, the one that had Linda Hamilton back. I know that it's probably going to be disappointing in some way because that's been true of all of the Terminators after number 2. But I'd still like to watch it at some point, just because Linda Hamilton's back. Come on. They're all back. At least there's some Terminator happening. That's the kind of solace I have to take in, even if things come back and they're not great. Wiki Wiki Wild Wild West. Exactly, Paul. Paul knows where it's at. I could do you all the words to Wild Wild West. But I won't. That can be a Patreon goal. I've watched a lot of anime. I haven't. Rach has. Rach has seen. What anime series have you seen, Rach?
I haven't seen the end, so you can't spoil it. It definitely hasn't been long enough. But I watched Attack on Titan. Watched that. I watched loads of things like Fruit Basket, Death Note, lots of other things.
Peanuts.
Spring to mind. Sailor Moon.
Charlie Brown.
Nothing you're saying.
The Simpsons.
Asterix Wars. Lots of things on. I'm not sponsored. We're not sponsored by Crunchyroll, but yeah, things on Crunchyroll.
Well, if you want some sponsorship, Crunchyroll, get in touch. You could save us some subscription money on Rach's animes.
Yeah, watch bits and bobs.
It's just never
I
grabbed.
have phases though of
Yeah.
like watching it, and then usually holidays, like longer school holidays, I'll just binge a load of anime.
Yeah, it's just never grabbed me for some reason.
You don't like subtitles though, do you?
Not really fussed. I don't like subtitles on things where I don't need subtitles to see.
Subtitles.
It distracts me, and especially like if you're watching subtitles in a comedy. I think like so much of comedy is about timing and revealing of information at the very specific time, and so to have the line spoiled for you in a subtitle before it's said at the exact right time, it's not as funny.
I've had subtitles and everything since. Things don't get spoiled.
The Adventures of Marty, Loki, and Draco. That would be an anime to watch. I think it's a lovely wall of games. Had rain in June in Malta.
We've had weeks and weeks of rain here.
Yeah,
but,
to be fair, we didn't.
We are Britain, so
we had last year. We had summer in March, and then this year we've just had kind of
this is the first
torrential rain, and then a sudden heat wave. Oh, you became one-legged on Monday.
We saw a bit of the Q&A. We didn't see the one leg thing.
What were you talking about? I meant to mention it. I can't remember. You were talking about something that related to a question, but then by the time that I'd gone on about whatever I was blathering on about, I'd forgotten how to relate it back to the bit of the Q&A that I saw. All the other Terminator films after 2 are pretty bad. Yeah, I think I liked 3 better, like at the time. Because I would have been like, when did 3 come out? Like 2003, something like that? I would have been like 14, 15. I enjoyed it at the time, but like looking back now. But it's kind of like Terminator 2 at that point was like how old? And they'd never done another one. There's kind of the excitement. Like when Star Wars came back, when was that? Like 1999? And so I would have been like 10, 11 when Phantom Menace was out. Probably like 10. And like that's the kind of age that it was aimed at, I think. And just that like all of these old things that you would never think you would get to see, there's a new one coming out. And that used to be really, really exciting. But now, I'm more of the mind that you should leave things alone. As much as you want things to come back, it's probably not going to turn out the way that you hope. Like with Friends, just leave it as it was. You've still got all of that you can watch.
It's your opinion.
Yeah, maybe some people are going to love... Maybe some people still do love The Phantom Menace. I did at the time. We loved Jar Jar Binks at school. Now, not so much. You watch anime with Japanese language. You do, don't you, right?
It's the only way.
You don't watch any dubs?
Oh,
no.
no.
Is
No
that-
way.
Is it
Subs only.
more pure to watch
Subs, not dubbed.
But in games, you don't watch the... You don't have the Japanese language on, do you, when there's an option?
I think there's an option. Because if they're speaking in the middle of you doing something, you don't always catch the subtitles.
Yeah.
But it's a shame because sometimes the voice actors chosen for the English voices are not... They don't match the character.
Yeah.
They're not very...
Yeah, so like I used to listen to a podcast for games, for video games, where one of the people there that was all into anime and stuff was very kind of emphatic about always playing games with the Japanese language on, because Japanese voice actors were far, far better at like conveying emotion and stuff in their voice. Whereas I think it's probably a lot better now, but often in video games for the English dubs, they would just kind of sometimes just get named actors in that weren't really used to being voice actors, and so wouldn't really know the context of anything that they were saying, and would just kind of phone it in whether they meant to or not. Whereas the Japanese ones would, like, no matter how silly the situation, would treat it like it's life or death. Serious acting. Like Raul Julia in Street Fighter. You need to be like that with every role. Right, Rach? Street Fighter. We still need to watch Street Fighter. You can see how seriously he takes the most ridiculous thing in the world. But in a good way. You should take all these things seriously. In a daft way. Been snow in June in Norway. Wow. I think didn't we have that where there was was that last year? I don't think we had it that late, did we? It was still kind of snowing in. We had snow in like April or May, didn't we? This year, in like an unusual time. We had the weather's clearly gotten confused with itself. Cowboy Bebop is your favorite anime, and it's better subtitled. See that mentioned. Maybe one day I'll fancy it. But at the moment,
You're not going to.
At the moment, it's just another rewatch of Friends. And then after that, probably Community. Or Community as well. Like, I know it's not got the global reach of Friends, but Community is genuinely one of the best things that has ever been made. And you will love it. No matter what you like, you will love it. And if you don't, watch it again. You had a tornado in Columpton. What? I'm going to Google it. I can't make it come on the screen. 11th of May. Residents stunned after tornado. They are putting tornado in quotes, Paul. Heavy rain sets off car alarm.
Wow.
The Devon Live is really dramatising these things.
Look at the greenhouse. The greenhouse was smashed to bits.
I can't really see
Scroll
it.
down, there's a picture.
I can see the aftermath of it.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, I can see it in the clouds, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Google Columpton tornado, everyone. It's worrying. That's too close for us. Free is about a swim team. I don't think I'm going to watch it, but Rach, you should watch it. I like that kind of idea that you could have a whole series about a strange thing. I would like a board game about a swim team. I don't know what it would be.
I haven't seen it. There's one about food as well. It's like Food Wars. I haven't watched that. But it's like 3 seasons now.
Have you seen Full Metal Alchemist, Rach? I don't think you haven't seen Cowboy Bebop, have you? That's one that I think Full Metal Alchemist and Cowboy Bebop seem to be the ones when people ask for recommendations on like Twitter or something. Not that I've seen much of that lately.
Naruto /
Oh yeah, he loves Naruto.
And
Absolutely
Boruto.
loves it. It's gotten him reading. That's how much he loves it. Gotten a teenager reading. Do you sometimes use games at your work, Rach?
Paul says, for your homework this week, I'd like Water to play Twilight Imperium 4. I tell you what, the complaints from the parents if I did that. Ooh. No.
You don't, but
Not
I think
really. I mean, at the minute, it's funding. Like, we'd need funding for the game. Yes. It's having the games.
Yeah, there isn't even like funding for reading books, is there? Really? At the school.
We'd have to. I don't know. We don't really have a clubs fund.
It's a shame because I don't think my school had a fund for it, but we did have in my primary school we had a board game club.
Well, we had a board game club 1 year. It wasn't run by me. Somebody else did it because I ran the recorder club because I'm the only one that can play the recorder in the school, and it was just like Scrabble
yeah,
or
that's
Monopoly.
what my
it's just fair enough.
Yeah, that's what my board game club would have been.
I wouldn't want to be doing a board game club with those board games.
That's where I first played Payday, which I've still got. I wouldn't put it up as an example as a fantastic game, but in terms of like classic roll and move kind of games, Payday's pretty cool. First played it at that board game club, and a lot of chess, I think.
I think as well, like you have to have like so many children in your club.
Yeah.
So you'd have to have several games going, and I'd want to be I don't know.
But I think it's a shame. It would be nice for that to be more prevalent because like our friends have got a 3-year-old who has got a nice little collection of Harbour games, kind of which we've played some before, and mainly kind of their more family games like Karuba and stuff. But their games specifically aimed at like 3-year-olds, like My First Orchard and Dragon's Breath, and we got one that's Hedgehog Roll. Like they're games for they're simple games like for small children, but I think they're fantastic. They're such clever ideas for like you need the rules to be like as simple as possible, basically. But like I think Dragon's Breath, the way it uses components and stuff for a game that is basically just lift a ring off, it's got like a nice little betting element to it as well, and stuff that just works for really young kids. It's fantastic. Who wouldn't want to play some games with Ellen? Use board games in daycare group. Probably like a similar. Well, mind you, daycare will be all sorts of ages, won't it? But like, yeah,
I already spend a lot of my own money on my class.
But it is cool. Yeah, it is cool. I enjoy playing them myself, even though they are like some of them are just basically like memory and just pairing things up. It's fun to see like a 3-year-old react to these things for like the first time and having to come up with, well, just working out a game when it's like one of the first games they've had to work out. It's a really cool experience. But I think I don't think I clicked on Chlorination to see what like the actual ins and outs of it were, but I thought the theme was pretty cool. It needs a different name. There's got to be some. It doesn't sound positive, does it? I know it's an essential part of swimming, but it needed a different front cover. A Carnival. I'll Google that so it is in a tab. That isn't coming up. Is that a Harbour game, Monica? Board game Carnival.
Yep, I think it's just spelled wrong. That top one. Okay. On the pictures.
Oh, like this? That looks like a very old game.
Maybe not.
What is Carnival? I'd be interested. I like the Hedgehog. Go to BGG. Oh, here we go. Carnival 2002. Oh, it's called The Ladybug's Costume Party. In English.
Mask and Ball.
Oh, it's probably just like a retheme of it, right? It's a game that's had a ton of.
Oh, the dabbers are cute.
Different versions over the years.
There you go. There's the Carnival edition.
Yeah, right at the bottom. That would have been the first way that it came out. That'll have to be the next one. That can be Christmas or something like that. Oh, it won the Kinderspiel in 2002. Because I've been looking at like that's how I found Hedgehog Roll. It was a tie between when I was looking through the Kinderspiel winners, because obviously like I'm not up on all of the like kids games that have been released, and it's been kind of fun seeing the breadth of them just from basically Harbour mainly. But that's how I saw Hamster Roll. And it was a tie between getting Hamster Roll or Dragon's Breath. And I picked Hamster Roll because you've got like a tennis ball, and then it's got all of these like leaves and apples and things that are felt and will stick to the tennis ball.
Velcro.
And like Velcro. So you roll the hedgehog, which is the brown tennis ball with eyes Velcroed on it. Roll that through all of the things, and what you pick up is what you can spend to move the hedgehog through these spaces. It's really lovely little game. And she'd already gotten Dragon's Breath for her birthday as well, which is another really cool kids game. Call it Masquerade Ball in Norwegian. I think that's another like one that it had as well.
Mask and Ball Decatur.
Oh yeah,
That's not pronounced correctly.
no. Echidna Shuffle as well in your collection, but not played it yet. Yeah, I think there's loads that we can be getting. over time with her. Christmas will be the next one now. I'll come up with the best game coming up for Christmas. Although the best present might end up just being like stickers. It's generally stickers, right? As good as games are, they're not stickers. So I think we're all caught up.
We need to get the washing in.
Oh yeah, we need to get the washing in before it rains, and it's 7 p.m. and we haven't got anything in for tea yet, so we're gonna have to sort that out. I think we're gonna end it there. Thank you very much for being here and asking questions and having a nice little chat with us.
A little quick Marty, come on. Will that cable move down? Oh, spotted me, everybody.
Yeah, let's see if I can get a Marty cam just to finish with. It's gonna go dark for a second. Tell me when you've got the cam on him, Rach. Okay. Let me just bear with me for a second.
Rick, he's on to us.
I need to deactivate and reactivate. Is it working? There you go. You have to change it a little bit. Can you see? There he is. Amidst all of the wires and things. Where it's cool, apparently. Right next to a computer. But there he is. There's Rachel's white computer. That's the Marty cam for the stream. So, yes, there is... Where did I see that? Back to me. Barry, there is not a YouTube membership thing. I don't know if I should turn that... Like, I kind of thought, should I just leave it as... There is a Patreon, right? Patreon.com/slickerdrips. Where you can join for anything that you can spare, basically. There are tiers to, like, get a vote and stuff like that. I think I'm going to be moving it more towards, like, just one tier gets all of the things. But, yeah, that keeps all of this stuff happening. All of the playthroughs and all of the live things, everything. Is thanks to the patrons on there, and you get to have a say in all of the stuff. Maybe there would be like I know you can turn YouTube memberships on, but I don't know if that would kind of cause confusion. That I don't know if I could transfer the benefits over and stuff. But there is a Patreon. If you would like to and are able to support me on there, that would be fantastic. Thank you, patrons. Thank you for being here, everybody. Thanks, Paul. Yes, hopefully no tornado. And yes, please support me on Patreon. My little robot should have given you a handy link to click on YouTube anyway. Sorry if you've seen this on other platforms. I haven't got robots for those other platforms to type things for me. Yeah, fund the helicopter to get us to GridCon. We need a whole crew to helicopter us there and get aerial views of all of the service stations along the way. Yeah, thanks, Joseph. Thanks, Monica. Yes, angry Marty. He does want to be left alone.
He's like, I've left the camera down there and he's proper shunning it.
Yeah, he's literally turned himself away from that camera.
He knows.
We're not looking at it, but he thinks that we might be. So I think that is it, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. I'll be back tomorrow night, around this time actually, in about 25 hours, 8 p.m. BST. I'll be here playing Paladins of the West Kingdom, the solo mode, carrying on the voted for West Kingdom solo trilogy. For now, though, we need to do some food and getting the clothes in things. Thank you very much for being here, everyone. See you tomorrow or whenever we see you again, and we will be more regularly doing Q&As now that we remember and stuff. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.